Welcome to the Raised Rowdy podcast. My name is Ozan.
I'm Nicky T, and we have a special guest this week, Mr. Dalton Dover.
Double D, baby. What's up, man?
What's
Thank you
up?
for having me, dude.
How are you, bro?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Just kind of coming down from CMA Fest and about to get back out on the road. We'll be in Canada over the weekend, so I'm just kind of
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Have you been to Canada before?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have been. Yeah, I was out there early last year on radio tour. I didn't get to stay long and really see much of anything, but we was out there just
Kind of
hanging, meeting everybody and stuff like that.
Yeah. Canada's a crazy big country market, bigger than you'd think.
They love country music, man.
Yeah.
I love
Same.
Canada.
Yeah. Agreed. Kurt's toured there extensively.
I'm going there in a few weeks, I believe. I'm not. Don't ask me where, but somewhere in the Great White North.
Before it gets too cold. you
Yeah.
know?
How was radio tour, man?
It was intense, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, man. We was all over the place. So, like, it went from, like, being at home every single day, doing the TikTok thing every day,
Yep.
to, like, never being at home, never posting TikToks, and meeting radio every day. Like, I feel like I've been everywhere in the world at this point,
Yeah. I mean, you have at this point, man.
Yeah, man. It's been nuts, dude.
That's
but I love
super
meeting
cool, though.
everybody. It was fun, and, like, giving up on that, like, I love that song so much, so it was
Yeah.
cool, going out there and singing it for everybody every day, so I loved it, man.
Man, it's cool. And that's what you hear is like, you're to no one, then you're to specific people, and then you get to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
know?
It's wild, bro.
It's super cool. And man, I mean, building those relationships, shaking those hands is important
It
because
is.
those are the people that are loving your music, you know?
Absolutely.
And a lot of those too, like when you're doing those radio shows, you're at least getting on that local radio airwave, so they're getting a little local piece of you.
Yes.
Or sometimes even those radio shows. where you get to
Going back and
perform.
playing shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, I feel like it's been crazy because, like, going out and playing these shows, like, you see, like, who's playing the song, and you're like, okay, like, they're singing Giving Up on there. They're singing Bury Me in This Bar. They've heard it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've heard it.
It's always fun too, because like I've always loved playing the radio shows because you get all these artists and they're just on stools on stage with acoustic guitars. So like all like the bullshit's like stripped away, and it's just like the song and the singer,
Heck yeah.
And so a lot of cool, fun moments have happened that way
Yeah, absolutely.
when
Like,
you're doing like the 8-man jams or all that kind of stuff like
Yeah.
that.
At the time I went, it was me, like George Burge, myself, Cassie Ashton. Haley Witters was even out there with us at times.
Yeah. Haley.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Haley. Dude, no, man, we had so much fun out there. It's crazy.
It's stressful, I'm sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
just like everything, it kind of gets you used to that road life too.
Like, before my radio tour started, they was like, all right, you ready? Like, it's going to be crazy. You're going to be going on. I was like, oh, come on, dude. I got this, right? So then, like, 3 weeks in, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go back home. Like, Georgia was calling my name, man.
Heard that. I remember it's like a lot of late night hangs too, like
Very late.
Yeah, drinking and all that, and but also a lot of steak restaurants and stuff, which is cool. But
American Wagyu.
Yeah.
American Wagyu. Love it.
Yeah, no doubt. And then the next morning, it's like 5 a.m. Lolly calls to fly to the next spot to go sing acoustic in a boardroom or do whatever, It's a grind, man. It's tough. One thing I always thought was cool was when Darius came into the country market, he sort of did like a radio tour as of like a nod of respect to the genre. I thought that was really cool. Instead of like, hey, like my band was the biggest band in the world in the 90s, and like so playing my music, it was like, this is who I am. Like I'm here. I'm really taking this seriously, and I have a lot of respect for this genre. So
It's like he probably like done it all over again,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
I
done it
wonder
all
if
over
like
again.
Post Malone's going to do radio tour.
I
That
don't
would be
think that'll
crazy.
happen.
That would be crazy.
But he just played Bluebird.
I know, yeah.
last
So
night.
he's taken some of those steps,
Yeah. Next he'll be at the Opry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Make his Opry debut.
100%.
My buddy is Adam's. My buddy Adam is Post's photographer, and we were having some beers the night before that show at the Bluebird. And he's like, yeah, I got some gig tomorrow with Post, and he's from Salt Lake, and he's not a country. He doesn't live in Nashville. He doesn't know what the Bluebird is. He's like, yeah, it's like a riding circle or something, or like I'm like Riders Round, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, where is it? He's like, the Blue Jay, I think it is. Blue Jay. I'm like, you mean the Bluebird? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I guess so. He's like, you think
So
it'll be
funny.
cool? I'm like, Yes, I think
It's got to be weird for them kind of coming into this world and never like being here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been in music for so long, but country music's a lot different than.
And it has its own intricacies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I'm sure every genre does,
Yeah, it
right?
does.
But there's not a lot of places where it's so heavily here. Like, I guess
Right.
pop is LA and New York, right? A lot.
I don't
But
know.
I feel like it's more spread out. Where, like, if you think about country music historically, for the longest time, it's been here. So there are little things like, where else would you have a venue that's in a strip mall that is one of the most like iconic venues to go to and play, and is one of those things that it's like, it's a check mark on like, man, I'm really doing this thing, you know.
Bro.
And radio tours like that.
It is.
Also, I think when Kurt mentioned just a guy on his guitar playing songs, man, you and a guitar is powerful enough to fill up a whole room. Man.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate
for
it.
real.
I just growing up, dude, my grandpa had me singing at church really young, you know. So I guess from being a kid, I always wanted to be the best singer that I could be. Like, I always loved when people like would congratulate me on how well I could sing, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, congrats.
No, but yeah, man. I don't know, man. I appreciate it.
Bro, it's undeniable. I remember seeing you play in a bar because I got to see you a little early on, and just getting to see that. Now getting to partner on the event with you guys, with you and the label, it's just
Yes,
it's so
nuts.
full circle, man.
Yeah, man, it
What
really
event
is.
was that?
So we did an outside the round with Dalton a few weeks ago.
Oh, sick.
So he played full band at Live Oak. And
What?
Yeah,
Had
crazy
a-
time. Kurt,
yeah.
you should have been there, dude.
Kurt's
I
been
was
busy.
there in spirit.
Yeah, he's busy doing that day job stuff at
Yeah.
stadiums. You know,
Yeah.
True.
I get him out here a few times a week, usually these days of the week.
I got some weeks off.
That's true. Coming
Maybe
up,
we should go on radio tour.
get the radio show back, huh?
True.
So other than radio show, I know I got to see you down in Rome too for like little bit. And have you played a Rome River Jam?
Yeah, so I played River Jam. This year will be my second River Jam.
Second one.
Second River Jam, dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I love playing.
Super
that show.
cool.
I love playing. That
I was
show.
wondering if they were gonna have it this year just because they had that Rock the Country down there,
Yes.
and I was like, I didn't know if they were gonna. So I was super excited when they announced it. I actually have a wedding, so I'm not gonna be able to go this year.
I'm pumped about it, dude.
Congrats on getting married, Nick.
Yeah,
Congrats, dude.
not me. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's cool, like to see artists kind of play in their hometown.
Yeah.
So we were just up in Illinois, in Bloomington, Illinois,
Okay.
and that's kind of like Bailey Zimmerman's hometown area. So it was cool to see Bailey play there.
So
and
that's like home.
yeah,
That's home. Yeah. That's
yeah. And honestly, they do like a Tailgate and Tall Boys Maxed, which is like a truck thing. And you know, Bailey's like heavy into the truck world, as is his family.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. Like that festival has kind of become like a hometown show for Bailey.
Yeah.
Like he literally hung out for 3 days there.
Wow.
Instead of just coming in show day, they made it
Partying
a
down
one-off.
every night,
Yeah,
getting
just
down.
seeing all of his
Yeah.
friends and
That's what's
you know
up,
what I
dude.
mean.
I
Like
love that.
partying probably a little too much, maybe not enough. Who knows? But it was cool just to like get to see that because the hometown shows mean something. But when you get to do it at a big festival like that and it's a hometown show,
dude.
just such a blessing.
It really is. Like, I feel like River Jam, like where I'm from. So I'm from Aragon, Georgia. So I'm right outside of Rome. So playing River Jam is like a big deal. You know, like that was a big deal. You know, like my first River Jam I went to, I was in the audience. I saw Luke Bryan. I think that was in 2012.
Awesome.
Rain is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I was like, man, one day I want to play that show. You know, so now I'm on it. Like it's kind of it's like you said, it's full circle, man. It's pretty cool.
Man, I love that, and it's so well deserved. You've been killing it, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Like getting to watch your music be played on radio and just watching you know, of course the virility of like songs on the internet and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Absolutely.
How have you felt like it, like what has TikTok done for you or those platforms in general?
Man, TikTok has opened so many doors for me. I feel like, and like whenever I started on TikTok, it was like around the COVID era.
Yeah.
And everybody was on there dancing and all that stuff. I was like, I'm not dancing. You know, I can't dance that well.
Yep.
So then I just started posting covers, man. And I felt like I reached a whole new audience of people that I normally wouldn't have reached if it had been like Facebook or Instagram, you know?
Like Alicia Keys cover, is that kind of where that came from?
Yeah, dude. So one day we was actually on radio tour. Me and my guitar player, I call him T South. We was out there and I was like, dude, you know how to play that If I Ain't Got You song? And he started playing it, and as he was playing it, I was like, man, we got to put that in the set. The next night that we played it, dude, and everybody's like, holy crap. 2 months later, I put it on my own cover, posted it up on TikTok, and it goes nuts. Like, everybody loved it.
So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man.
I love that too, and it's honestly the covers thing is kind of great because, I mean, historically through time, country artists have played other people's songs, and this is just another platform for you to show kind of what you love, whether it's in genre, outside of genre.
Absolutely.
It's kind of neat, and like, I mean, you see a lot medleys in a lot of shows, which is just like a throwback to some stuff that artist loves. Or
Jelly Roll does a killer melody. Like, have y'all seen Jelly Roll's, like, the thing that he does? He does, like, a Eminem song.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he's all over the place.
Yeah, killer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since 2022. So I don't think
It's wild since then.
Yeah.
The Jelly Show's nuts.
I need to go.
So we just got to see him at a festival, and I got to see him last year at Bloomington, and it was him and then Nickelback.
Oh, I bet that was crazy.
It was wild. And now he's, of course, headlining the festivals himself. But, like, man, what I talk about with Jelly is he's literally, like, preaching to his fans.
He really is.
About redemption, about, you know, that you can come back from things that are bad.
Like, he's been at the bottom, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's been at the bottom.
And he's just grinded his whole way to the top from the bottom, which is awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So
rare.
it's super cool to see him kind of getting his time in the sun, you know?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Someone was telling me that like he can't even legally enter Australia.
Yeah.
He can't, dude. He's a felon.
He's a felon. You can't.
That's
Like, he can't
insane.
even own the guns.
Yeah.
He can't even leave, like, he probably can't even leave, like, he cannot leave the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that forever?
Yeah, man. I mean, I bet you some
I don't know
countries
how
will have
laws
like
work.
X amount of years.
Yeah.
You know?
So I know like if you have a DUI, like it's harder to get into like to Canada, for example, or whatever.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere, dude.
No, he don't.
Yeah.
No, he's not going
I
nowhere.
ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
That's wild, man. Because he could all the shows over there that he's missing out on.
Yeah, but he has all these shows here.
True. I mean, if I was going to be stuck in one country, it would be the number one country in the world, USA.
Come on,
Duh.
baby, let's go.
this is big enough where it's like a bunch of countries put together. You know?
It truly is. Yeah.
Man.
Shout out Jelly Roll. That guy's awesome.
He is, man.
I saw him at the Grammys in the bathroom. He was smoking a blunt with some guys, and I was like taking a piss. I'm like, "What up, Jelly?" He's like, "Hey, dude." He's like the nicest guy ever, man. Smoking in the boys' room. That guy's cool, man.
Well, speaking of like different genres, like what did you listen to growing up? Like, did you listen to country? Did you listen to everything? And maybe some bands that you loved? You know?
Dude, I listened to a little bit of everything, but country was obviously like the main thing that I listened to.
Yeah.
But I love like listening to Alicia Keys, Usher.
Yeah.
Dude, I got on this Michael Jackson kick for a minute, and like I love MJ.
Yeah.
You know, so all that stuff.
What years were you like in school? Like how old are you?
So I'm 26.
Yeah.
So I would have graduated in 2017, 2016, something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, dude, I was on everything, man.
That's how I was growing up too. I think Kurt.
My first CD I ever owned was the Spice Girls, and my uncle bought it for me, and he's like, "This new band's out, and they're taking over the charts." And then the first record I bought myself was Melancholy and the Fitness Sadness,
Smashing Pumpkins.
and then Tragic Kingdom by No Doubt.
Yeah.
And then I got into like Cisco, Thong Song,
Let's go.
Master P. This is I don't want to get too much on the subject, but Puff Daddy records, I had those as well.
No Diddy.
Yeah.
Can't go there now.
Yeah. And then eventually Nirvana and Green Day and all that.
Yeah, my dad always listened to country, so I had that. And he worked shift work. Yeah. So what he would do is he would play the clock radio loud enough where he couldn't hear us. You know, 4 boys running around the house. So I knew all of the 90s country songs because I was born in the 80s. So, like, in the 90s, I was actually, like, hearing music, you know? And then got into rock and roll from my older brothers.
Sick.
And so it's, but, like, 2012, I went fully back into the country music world and just, like, fell in love with the whole genre and all of the fun surrounding it. Is there a better parking lot party than a country music parking lot party?
No.
There's not.
No
but
way,
like the thing is like for me, like I wasn't listening to like I don't know. I was listening to like Keith Whitley, Conway, Merle Haggard, Brooks and Dunn. Like I was a big Brooks and Dunn dude, man.
Yeah.
Same.
I love Brooks and Dunn. I was listening to all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was listening to anything that was in my time. You know.
Yeah.
I was listening to everything that my grandpa loved.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a big part of it too.
Sounds
is
like
who
a song,
influences
really.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, write that down.
Absolutely.
Everything my grandpa loved.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's like a big part of it is who influences you. So for me, being a son of a mother who listened to R&B and listened to like kind of like what would be called the oldies now, and then my dad who listened to country, and then my brothers who I thought were the coolest listened kind of like grunge rock and roll. So all of that kind of influenced what I was, you know. But whenever I was in my car with my dad, it was always country music.
Absolutely.
Whenever I was in the car with my mom and dad, it was always what my mom wanted to listen to because he's a smart man. He's a smart man.
No doubt.
But it's cool to see now too. Like the genre is so big that you're seeing things from different times come back. You're seeing things from different genres enter. You know, I mean, we were just talking Post. You know, the Beyonce album is like, you know, heavily influenced in the country genre. You're hearing Lana Del Rey talk about her country project that she had been working on. You know what I mean?
Wild,
It's circling, but it also means that stuff that is traditional is working too. Because it's just so big that there's enough space for all of it to exist, which is super neat, honestly.
Yeah, it's like you have the freedom to write and put out whatever your heart, you know, feels. And it's like there's room in the market for that to come out. It could be something super bubblegum pop, or it could be, you know, as traditional as it gets. And there's just, especially with, you know, like TikTok and the internet and all this, you could find your own fan base. It doesn't have to be what country radio sounds like right now.
For sure.
Well, and that's a cool part too, is like there is a lane for everything, no matter what you call it genre-wise. And there's a lot of people that don't think they like country till they get served up a Dalton Dover song.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is country? I like this.
I like country now.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing in this wedding band living in Boston and not listening to country music at all. And I had no idea what was going on. And our singer was like, hey, we got to learn a country song for this wedding because they like country music. I was like, okay, cool. And so we were in the van, and he put this song on, and it was like boom, bam, 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 and it was Country Girl Shake It For Me, and I was like, and then it was like it kicked in, and it was just like, you know that Maxwell speaker ad where it's like the guy's in the chair and he's like getting blown back from the speaker, and it was like ba-na, 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 and I was like, holy shit, this is country music? This fucking rocks, you know? And I was like, I didn't know. I thought it would be like real twangy and like piano ballady and stuff like this. And I was like, okay, I see why this is popular. You know, I was like, it was just such an obvious smash.
Yeah. It's cool to see that too. And I mean, dude, first shows I went to and was in the pit for were like Darius and Luke Bryan and those guys, you know? And they're...
Whoa.
I'm like, what is going on? When I realized that I could spend at that time $75 and I could have a club experience at a show like that, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, sign me up for that as often as I can. And then they got to, I mean, they're not 75 anymore, but
true. Yeah.
he will have that. Well, dude, let's talk about CMA Fest a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So you played Dr. Pepper stage down there?
Yeah, we was on the Dr. Pepper stage, which was really cool, man. The last 2 years I've done the Chevy Vibe stage, which was really fun. Like that was my first CMA Fest. This past CMA Fest was my third one.
Yeah.
And dude, like it's so wild, man. Like
the fans are nuts.
They're like it's not. I'm not gonna say they're crazy because they're not crazy, but dude, they are crazy about the artists. They love us, dude.
Yes.
Like there was I was my first CMA Fest. I was like, oh, nobody's gonna know me. Like I'm gonna go out here and sing and I'm gonna make fans, but nobody's gonna know me when they see me. I was wrong, dude. I had actual fans there, and I was like, holy shit, this is wild, dude. Like, how do you know who I am?
That's like one of the things that I love the most about CMA Fest, and it's a lot because it's long days.
Yeah, long days.
You're hot out there in the sun.
Crap, so hot. This past one was perfect though, dude.
Yeah,
the weather
not
was
too
amazing.
bad.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things where the biggest fans of country music, this is their Super Bowl. It's where they can see 30 of their favorite artists, not just 2.
Right.
So it's before Raise Rowdy started, I was coming to CMA Fest with my buddies,
That's wild.
And I would see Luke Combs play, I would see like right when Hurricane was starting to get big, we got to see Luke. And
was that the HGTV thing? What stage was that?
The one that was the park stage.
Oh, Riverfront?
No, the park stage. So it was like Drake White, and then I don't know if y'all. I don't remember if you were in that.
It was probably before I played for Luke.
Yeah, I think it was before you played for Luke. But he played, and it was like right when Hurricane was starting to pop, you know? And we were like, oh, this dude's sick, you know? But you could see the crowd swell for it. Yeah. So that's another thing that I kind of love about CMA Fest is you could kind of like watch when people start like congregating. Right. Like when Riley was like on the come up, but wasn't like as big as he is now. Right. You got to see that whole area fill up for him before he was on.
Before he was Riley Green.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's one of those cool things where it's like I feel like it's a show and prove thing, just like it is when you're playing a writers round or where you're playing a full band showcase in town. Yeah, it's just like the way bigger scale of that, you know.
Who had their moment this year? Would you say
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah, which I think like I saw Ward post Boozy.
Yeah. Oh, she's blowing up and it's so good.
Nuts.
Yeah. Dude, I heard that song for the first time and I'm like, I don't care what you call this, I call it good music. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love it. I think, and he actually had our buddy Luke that has played a couple of our events open for him when he was in town, and I was like, man, it's so cool. Just like giving a kid a chance, you know. I love that.
That Tipsy song is everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere. one of the biggest songs. Like that song of the summer. It's either that or the Posty Morgan song.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and that's I'm not just talking country. I'm talking that's song of the summer.
For sure.
You know, like all genres. It's wild, you know. So it's like it's one of those things where it's cool that that's starting to happen in the genre. Because all that does is brings more fans in lets more people kind of see what's going on.
For sure.
Yeah, the rising tide raises all ships. So more country music fans we get, then all the artists win and all the band guys win and whatever Nick is wins too. Yeah,
I don't know what I am yet. Yeah,
all the good boys.
I like to say I'm like A&R for the fans. You know.
You are, man. No doubt. For me too. You put me on so much good music, man.
Well,
over the years.
Yeah, I remember like I had a radio show back in Pittsburgh, and that's what we were like chatting with a little bit before. And Kurt was like, "Well, I'll be on the radio show with you." I'm like, "Come on, let's go." And then he would introduce me to songs. He'd be like, "Can we play this song this week?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't know it, but I'm down." And I would do the same thing with him. So it was a really cool way of having. It's kind of like building your own playlist, but to 7,000 other people or whatever. You know.
Is that how many people listen to the radio?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
on our show.
Oh, yeah, Sunday nights.
Yeah, we were Sunday nights. But they let us be editorial.
Yeah.
So, like, I could get on there and I could play stuff that wasn't sent to radio.
Play like whatever you wanted.
Or, like, I could play a B-side song of you. You know what I mean? Instead of just playing your single that was on radio, they would let me play whatever and just tell the story.
Right.
You know?
Oh, that's awesome.
It was cool. It was fun. It took a lot of our hours because we didn't know how to make a radio show, really.
Yeah.
You learn that not having the proficiencies and all of that stuff can end up being hard.
I was also like really bad on the mic.
Till
like
you
starting it. Yeah, true. I was like, this next song is called it's by Eric Church. Okay, here we go.
Well, and then we would re-record it.
All right, do it again. Like, all right. Round Here Buzz by Eric Church. I'm like, cool. Nailed it.
That's one of the things too Kurt and I talk about when we talk about this podcast. We're like, well, we aren't the most radio vocal people.
Yes, you messed it up, right?
Totally messed it up. But this podcast, like the Raise Rowdy podcast, comes from just me being a fan of music.
Right.
And we were doing it in green rooms before we had anything in town. Right. You know, so it was for fans by fans, and now we kind of get the perspective of the fan side with me.
Yeah, dude.
And then also we get the other side of the stage with Kurt, like the musician side.
No, that's freaking awesome, dude. I want to start a podcast. I want to start my. I
want to
call it Double D's, dude.
Yeah,
sounds great.
Double D's podcast.
Provocative. I love it.
Raise Rowdy Podcast Network. Let's talk about it. Yeah, we'll get y'all set up. Yeah.
What would you cover? What's your non-music hobby? You got it?
Hunting, dude. Hunting, fishing. I love hunting though, man. Anything hunting, I'm into it.
What anything specific that you love the most, or whatever?
Probably just deer, man.
Deer.
Yeah, I love deer hunting, dude.
Kill shit till I die.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go.
I have a little ADHD. So when I was a kid, my dad was like, "You can come out, but we gotta sit there all day.
Be quiet.
Yeah, and you can't talk.
Don't
you can't
talk.
have music playing.
Don't say nothing.
And I was like, "Nah, I'm
Don't
good.
breathe.
Yeah.
Don't blink.
Yeah." I was like, nah, I'm good. So I never really got into hunting. I would fish because I could cast my line long and then I could cast short and get like little panfish and stuff, you know? So I could fish fine, you know, because it was enough. But
And you could drink more beer, I feel like, when you're
this
not
was
shooting guns.
pre,
Yeah.
this was pre.
That's true.
My buddies last Thanksgiving were like, come down. They have 5,000 acres in Alabama.
Yeah.
The Shackelford Lane boys. And they were like, why don't you come down over Thanksgiving? Because I wasn't going home for Thanksgiving. They're like, and deer hunt out of one of our stands that we know gets good deer from it. No, it didn't end up working out. My car was just too messed up. Now I have a car that I would feel comfortable driving down there.
Yeah.
I don't think my car would have made it down there. So maybe I might have to take them up on it this year. But they're like, we'll get you all set up and we'll put you in the stand where we know deer go by every day.
Yeah,
and they're like,
they're
like, if you don't get a deer, it's because you didn't shoot it right.
So I was on a plane, and I was sitting next to our tour manager who's like obsessed with hunting, you know? And I had a book, I forget what I was reading, some novel, and he was reading this book. It was like an 80-page book on deer hunting tips or whatever. And we just like swap books, and I'm not a hunter at all. I've never gone hunting. And I just was reading this book on it. It was like the intricacies of what people think about. It's like crazy. It's like if the wind's blowing, making sure that your scent is like downwinds or, you know, like all this stuff. I don't even know, man. It's like I could see how you could have a podcast about it because there's just so much to talk about. And
so much, man.
Yeah.
And like every time you go out there, it's always something, you learn something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Well, and it's that thing where, you know, everybody hates getting out of bed in the morning, but not when you're going hunting.
Yeah, not when you're going hunting.
It's like one of those
easy to
things
get
where
out.
it's...
Unless you
just
go a
happy.
few times and don't see anything, then you're like, oh, I'm just going to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking of some stories like of some buddies. We were at this bar, and they were supposed to go hunting in the morning, and we were just drinking beers. The beers were flowing like wine, as they say. And they're like, all right, well, we got to get up at 5 a.m. to go hunting. And he's like, yeah, I'll get up. And there was a bet made on if they would get up or not, and they did not.
They slept
Yeah,
in.
$200.
Slept in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to sleep. That's like Matt. We'll go to these festivals, and he's like, it's 5 hours. I want to drive home. I'm like, you're crazy, dude. I'm so dead, you know? But he's used to being on the road in vans and stuff where that was what you did, you know?
That's TM life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's it.
That's kind of where we're at now. We'll go play a show. Like we'll drive to Colorado in the morning, and then we'll drive right back.
Yeah.
Like we'll be back soon.
Are you guys doing the van life?
So we're in like a Sprinter van. Like we have beds and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ooh.
That's
like it's
great.
nice. So like we've not had to do the van yet.
Yeah.
Like it's nice having the Sprinter, dude.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Because even if you can't all sleep, just having where you can sleep a little,
Yeah.
you know, and if you can all sleep, great.
Heck yeah, dude.
Do you guys switch off like driving, or do you have a driver?
Dude, my TM and my drummer
Yeah.
are like the drivers,
The
and
dogs,
they
the road
love
dogs.
driving. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
the road dogs. They'll stay up all night and drive.
That's great.
Yeah, man, and we'll just be back there either crashing or playing Fortnite or
Those
something.
good video games.
Yeah, I was about to say Fortnite or
Yeah.
something. Just back there chilling.
That's Dalton and I have played Fortnite a few times. I got Kurt on there, but he don't get on too much. He's a busy boy. you
Kurt,
know?
you got to get on, dude.
I'm down, man. I got to give you my, Xbox handle or whatever.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But it's fun. That's what I talked to Matt about. I'm like, honestly, it's like networking without having to go to Red Door and spend $100 on beer. You know?
I know, our monitor guy was playing Call of Duty with Luke and the guys, and his wife was like, "Hey, will you help me with this?" He's like, "I can't right now. I'm working." It was during coronavirus or whatever, and she's like, "You're playing video games," and so he puts the headset on his wife, and it's Luke going to Maggie. He's like, "Hey, Zeus is working right now. I need him on my squad, so I'm paying his salary. So he's playing Call of Duty right now." She's like, "All right, I guess
whatever
so."
you say.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Man, it's so funny though, because as guys, I can't tell you too many times where I had a 2-hour conversation with my buddies on the phone.
Right.
Right.
But on Fortnite.
Yeah.
On Fortnite, we chop it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
And there's something to talk about, you know?
Every time.
In that game, I think I used to play Call of Duty a lot. Before Call of Duty, I played SOCOM. Call of Duty is cool, but it's there's no silliness in it unless you create it yourself. Where Fortnite kind of built in silliness. Right. Where I'm like,
for sure.
okay, this is fun and I'm trying to win, but at the same time, I can mess off for a couple minutes and everybody's having a good time still. You know? That's why
And all the guns and everything are purple and shiny. It's like a kid's vibe or whatever. But it's fun though.
Or there's a car come by you with a freaking grenades shooting out
Yeah.
the top of it, and you're just like jumping all around, like dodging them.
It's kind of like the game reminds me of something like a kid would make. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
a dream that you would have as a kid. Like,
Yes.
it's so
Dude,
fun.
imagine having your own character on Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
Imagine having imagine having your face as a character and you're like
Yeah.
playing on there.
Metallica's on there now.
Yeah. I have Eminem.
Eminem,
you know?
Rick Grimes from The Walking
yeah.
Dead. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I got to hang out and have some drinks with Ninja. That's my Fortnite story. If you're hip to that streamer, Ninja.
He's like one
Twitch
of the
Like
biggest.
one of the biggest streamers I've
Yeah.
heard of.
Yeah,
him.
Yeah. Like he was in Luke's screen room hanging out, and he's got like blue hair. Him and his wife Jessica, they're super nice. I'm like, hey, I didn't know what they did. I'm like, talk to them about music for 25 minutes. I'm like, what do y'all do? And they're like, oh, we're streamers. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. And so I picked his brain about that, and he's like, yeah, man, it's great, you know. And I'm like, well, it's got to be harder than people think. And he's like, no.
Dude, you
Like-
literally just like go live.
Yeah.
It's like you're going live while the people watch you play
Yeah.
your game or whatever you're streaming, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So he told me if you're in the top 3% of whatever it is that you do, that people will watch you do it. And so if you quilt or fish or Fortnite or whatever you're good at and you can get on there and stream it, like you can make money doing it.
For sure.
Super cool.
And I was like, Twitch, like you watch people play video games? That sounds lame.
Dude, I will lay in the bed and like
Dude, same.
go scroll through lives and like if somebody's playing Fortnite, I'm watching.
I know.
I'm just watching for no reason.
I do that with chess, man. I'm like, because like there's these like grandmasters and they're just playing. And they're like, hey, knight f3, I'm doing this. You know, this is part of the Rui Lopez opening that I play, and this is why I do. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, oh, that's how they do that. And then you watch other people play the games you like, and then it's like they're better than you, so you just copy them, and then you're better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like playing a guitar lick from an
Yeah.
artist that you love, you know?
True.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't really watch a lot of Twitch music though, or anything,
I don't either.
Yeah.
or YouTube. I
I
don't.
wonder if there's a market for that.
There is, but
I'm sure.
if they're not doing it right, I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Well, maybe they're not top 3%.
We've been going, yeah, maybe they're not. True. We've been going live like with Tyler, like on the sound checks and stuff. It's been super fun.
Which I enjoy watching those, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, y'all are so badass.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, y'all's band is killer.
Yeah, my mom texted me the other day. She's like, how do I watch TikTok? I'm like, this is how you do it. She's like, oh, she figures it out. But then you go on there and just scroll through the TikTok lives, and there's some weird shit going down.
Oh
Yo,
my gosh,
dude. Oh my.
So weird.
There's
this
strange
one,
folks.
dude. There's this one guy that's he goes TikTok live and he's like drew all over himself. Like so, everybody that like sends a gift or something, he writes their name on his body, and he's sitting there like just a big old fat guy just dancing around like you know with marker all over his body. And I'm just like, wow. And there's like 20,000 people watching him at all times.
So
Jeez.
Yeah, nuts.
I remember hearing about a live stream where a guy was live stream while he was sleeping, and if you paid money, you could have it make a specific noise that would just like wake him
I
up.
saw that.
I was like, what? So you're literally torturing yourself for money? Like, cool.
That's unbelievable.
Or have a big old alarm right beside his ear while he's asleep.
Yeah.
And like if you send like 2 roses, it'll go.
Yeah. I had this idea for a Twitch stream. Tell me what you think of it. It's retro video games, kind of like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But while we're doing it, we're playing it and we're asking questions at the same time. So it's like an interview, but it's while
You're
you're playing the game.
That's the move. Dude.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
I think we should.
All
If
right.
Kurt don't want to do it. I'll do it.
I'm down. I'm down. I'll
go.
smoke y'all in some Smash Brothers
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that's my thought is like a game that like everyone kind of knows, but maybe no one's great at.
Yeah.
And then have some questions that you're answering while you're doing it, like on like
Dude, that's the
even
move.
if you just do it not on a live. I don't know. Live stream seems right though. But in
Yeah.
my head too, you could have like
Coming soon, y'all.
yeah,
Coming soon.
you know the clips where it's like something up top and then something not related down bottom. Imagine if the thing down bottom was the video game that you were actually playing,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
and then the top is just us talking about
yeah,
it.
that would. I feel like that would be a hit.
Yeah. All right. Nobody steal that. Someone.
Hey.
Hey.
It's just pointing.
We want a third.
Yeah. What game would we play though? Like Mario Kart?
I think retro games, and you just don't do the same game all the time.
What if it was Pac-Man?
Yeah, like
Like some
like
games like
Pac-Man or like Mario Kart where you could all play together.
Yeah,
Smash Brothers would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like
Donkey Kong, dude.
oh yeah, or like
I'll just like have some guests over and I just like embarrass them in Smash Brothers and they don't come back on the podcast.
Or
Are
they
you
embarrass
really good
you.
at Smash Brothers?
I used to be pretty good. I'm afraid to say like I'm like really great at it because there's some people out there that are like
really great.
dedicate their lives to that. But there's different versions, and I grew up with the 64 version, and so we would in college. N64 was already retro then, and so we would just weekends would be Smash Brothers tournaments, and me, my buddy Eric, Brett, Sean, and a couple other guys, we'd get some beer and play that game. And I remember I moved into this basement apartment, and there was a 3-bedroom apartment, and the next door was a studio. And there's this guy named Eric living next door, and I didn't know him at all. And he went to Northeastern. We all to Berkeley. So I walked over and I knocked on the door, and he's like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, I just moved in next door. I got some beer. I don't know if you like drinking beer, and I also have some video games. I don't know if you like that, but we're gonna drink beer and play video games." He's like, "Yeah, man. Like, yeah, I guess that sounds pretty cool." Turns out like he just loved like beer and loved video games, and like all we did was like play Smash like all the time and drink Millers. Good times, man. But yeah, so Smash Brothers for sure. N64. I was always Donkey Kong, and you can like grab people and put them on your back, and then like jump off the edge.
Dude, we got to play it because
Nostalgia,
I'm terrible at that, and I have it at the house, so we got to play it.
Done.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
All right. Well, enough about video games, I guess. So, what do you guys have? I know you talked about going up to Canada.
Yeah.
So, what else do you guys have on the docket for the year?
Man, so much new music, first off. So
Yes.
on the 28th of this month, I believe, we're releasing a new single called Here's the Deal.
Yeah.
I've had this song kind of in my back pocket for a while. When I first started coming into town, I did not know what getting pitched a song means or an outside song or nothing like that, but I've always been a huge Hardy fan, and I got like a handful of Hardy songs that they was like, "Dude, we think you would kill these."
Yeah.
And there's a specific song called "Here's the Deal" that I cut. Man, I'm so excited about it.
It's amazing.
Man, we're out on tour with Sam Hunt coming up soon, so
yeah.
I'm really pumped about that. It's playing some of the biggest stages of my life. That I'm really excited.
That's so great.
I love those boys. They're talented, man.
Dude, Sam and I are from the same exact county in Georgia.
Crazy.
And like it's kind of like just all around like just wild, really, because like coming up, I'm Sam's a lot older than me, but you always hear Sam Hunt in town, So now that I know the guy, I'm going on the road with him, and like we're signed to the same label.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's so wild.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be a learning experience too. I feel like
For
getting
sure.
what are you guys doing? Like sheds or what's the tour like?
Dude, we're playing a few arenas.
Sick.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited, dude. I'm really excited. I was out with Parker, and I've done amphitheaters like kind of for the first time,
Yeah.
and that was crazy. But like now, I feel like it's kind of going up a little bit
Yeah.
to not kind of the next step. I'm really pumped about it.
Man, that's super cool.
Yeah.
It's sheds are kind of where like my love and obsession with music came when I realized that I could get that like club show experience in the
Right.
pit of a shed. I was just like, whoa.
This is the move.
Yeah, dude, all the great music. I love those, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, everybody's having the best time. The tailgates are elite.
So I wish I would have got like I wanted to see like I'm such a huge Luke fan, dude. I don't even
Yeah.
know if you know. I love.
I
Luke.
do, yeah,
One,
yeah.
one of my biggest like Luke is probably one of my biggest inspirations, and like I've looked up to Luke since he come out. There's a video. So I'm gonna tell you this. I've never told this story before. And my buddy, his name's Benji. He had a party at his house one night, and this is when Hurricane was coming around, and you guys had posted a video. It looked like y'all was maybe sitting on a balcony of a hotel or something. And
That was
you-
my condo.
Okay,
That's
you
my
was
house,
on your
yeah.
dobro. Luke had a yellow capo.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all played a show somewhere where somehow or another somebody stole Luke's capo, and it was sitting. This dude had Luke's capo. He's like, "Dude, this is Luke's capo," and I was like, "No bullshit. No, it's not. I got the capo.
Oh,
I still got it. Yeah, I
Hell
still
yeah.
got the yellow capo.
All right, well, maybe you
I'm
can
not
get back
giving.
to
I'm
him.
not giving it back.
I was gonna say give it to him.
Swap it for a new one.
Yeah, swap it for a co-writing session.
Yeah, no, dude. That was really cool for me. I love Luke, dude. I got to meet him at the BMI Awards last year, and dude, I was like so. I don't really get starstruck,
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
with Luke, I was like, holy shit, this is pretty cool.
I think we all have that one person that would kind of do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's Luke. For
It's
sure.
I like lost all of my words when I met Eric Church the first time. I had this like whole thing in my head that I was gonna say, and then I was just like, blah, music, very good. And I've like met Luke, but not extensively. Where I've like talked to him, and he played. For Kurt's birthday, we had a Make Wake takeover, and Luke played at Live Oak for us at my writers round.
It was bonkers.
It was month 5 of me having a writers round in town. Kurt, of course, is taking photos for us the whole time. It just lines up that show is on his actual birthday. And then they told us that Luke's going to play it. And I was like, Kurt and I were on a phone call, and we were both in disbelief, and Kurt's in the band. You know, he was still in disbelief.
It was so much fun.
It was like a fever dream.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. That whole day was like a fever dream where it like felt like it almost wasn't real.
Flatland played.
Full
like, band.
Full band.
Oh, that was crazy.
And I think it was one of their first times like really doing a showcase in Nashville. And then it was Haley, Drew, and Luke on the last set.
I knew that was wild.
It was absurd.
Yeah.
So. And then Kurt was very drunk because it was his birthday.
Not Kurt. I couldn't see Kurt drunk.
And Luke was like, hey, you want to get up and play one with me? And Kurt was like 7 or 8 shots deep.
Was you like, hell yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He still had it.
I remember he's like, well, what do you want to play? I'm like, she got the best of me because it's easy. I don't want to play anything hard, you know. Play something fat, like One Too Many, like trying to chicken pick on an acoustic guitar drunk. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Not gonna work.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, it's for me coming from just literally being a fan of music, moving to Nashville. Everybody said I had to move to Nashville. Then I did, and it started like pumping. And I was like, oh, I guess that's why. And then getting to have Kurt on the podcast with me as my co-host all the time. We're going to have him do his first episode without me here in a few weeks.
Dude, I feel like you're going to kill it.
Yeah, he's going to do great.
I agree. I don't know.
But I've done some without him because, you know, he's a busy man.
Yeah.
True.
Busy.
But that'll be our first one without me on it. I'm excited for it, honestly.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
What was the show where I met you? If you're 25 or 26 now, you must have been 21 or something.
Yeah, you met me, golly, man. Honestly, I can't remember. But
Wasn't it somewhere you played acoustic just by yourself? And maybe like Adam Church also played somewhere?
Yeah, so it was in Atlanta at the Roxy.
Okay.
It was at the Roxy, and
it was the day before. So we would have parties the day before our show.
The tailgate party. I played the tailgate party the day that y'all played the stadium. It was my first time ever seeing Luke play. It was my first time ever seeing y'all show, and we was in holy crap, dude. We was in no, golly, I can't even remember.
Was Cody Johnson on that show with us? Kojo?
It was Atlanta.
Yeah, at Mercedes Benz.
It was Kojo and Flatland.
Flatland?
No.
I don't even remember.
But that's where I met you.
Yeah.
We was backstage, yeah.
But then also, wasn't there like the day before the show, there was a party at a club also, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we used to do that? Like, we'd have these like fan club parties where
Adam played it, and I went up acoustic, and like he let me play. He let me play some songs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And I got up and played bass or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some photos of me like playing on stage with Adam's band that night because like all Luke's band, and then we all got up and traded instruments and played different songs and jammed and everything.
Yeah, but that was the first time. That was the first time that I'd met you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the first time I met you.
Man, I think in person was at a bar in Rome. Like we were down there and you were playing a acoustic show down at like Giggity's or somewhere.
Holy shit, that's
what a
wild.
great name for a bar.
Giggity.
Because like I know they don't usually have music, but I think they had it because like the festival's in town.
Yeah, I think it was River Jam, right?
Yeah,
it was when Morgan come to River Jam, right?
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I'd met you twice in Rome before I met you in Nashville.
Got you.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Which
dude.
like just when you were playing in Rome,
right?
Because we would go down to Peaches or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But we would like go out and giggity, and then we had like a couple of our friends were from the area, so like we would go down to some of the shows there. And I forget what the second one was, but I ran into you twice in Rome.
It had to be like
playing
Brew House.
Yeah.
Did y'all play? Kurt, did you ever play Brew House with Luke?
Yes, I think with Job Fortner opening.
Yeah, and Job, yeah.
Crazy.
If memory serves,
that was back kind of in a heyday, dude. That
2017 maybe.
Yeah,
I think something
But
like that.
I think that's where we first met. We'd like internet talked before that, but I think that was the first time we like met. Was
wild,
down there. Yeah, man. it seems like so short of a time ago, but also so long ago. Yeah, because
And
you
here we
were,
are.
I mean, that was probably 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. I mean, I wasn't even, TikTok wasn't even around for
Yeah.
me then. Yeah.
Yeah, you were just pumping on regular Instagram and like everybody knew you had a damn good voice, you know? But man, yeah, it's like, it's crazy how time feels so short and so long at the same time.
Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah, I was like reading about how like having new experiences kind of slows down your perception of time. You know, if you're doing the same thing all the time, then it all kind of
Time goes like
like so
longer.
when you're doing new interesting things, it kind of makes it feel like you're enjoying the time more, I guess.
Makes sense.
Dude, it seems like time flies by for me these days,
Yeah.
man. I'm sure it is for
Well,
you
you're
guys.
busy.
Yeah, time is like, it's like, I was just talking about the show that I'm playing Friday night. I remember talking about it like 3 months ago. Like
Yeah.
it was yesterday. And like now we're about to play the show.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Like time like does not slow down at all.
That's what, with as busy as life has gotten, it feels like the years have just been starting to go quick.
For sure.
Especially when you're older.
Yeah, I'm old as heck.
Dude, I'm old too, man.
I feel like I moved to Nashville in 2012. I feel like 2012 was like 2 years, 2013 was like a year, and then like 2014 to now was like 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, where
When-
did everything go?
The reason that Kurt and I think became good buds is because he just happened to have time when I moved down. Like we were kind of buds before,
Y'all
but
just started kicking it and stuff, just hanging out.
we would just smoke cigars on his porch 6 feet apart, you know.
True.
And
We
like,
should do that later, actually.
yeah, I'm down. Yeah, as long as it's not raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where everything kind of happens for a reason, and time.
For sure.
If you push hard enough, your time will come if you keep pushing hard.
Most
you know,
definitely, dude.
and I love watching your thing keep growing, man. It's just
Thank you,
been,
brother.
it's been powerful to watch, man.
Means the world, dude. Thank
Everybody's known you've had the talent forever, right? Like you said, even in church. But
man.
talent, what everybody doesn't understand is talent isn't the whole thing.
It's not the whole
Not
thing.
even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
It's work. It's perseverance. It's
Yes.
taking those no's and turning them into yeses. It's being a good person to people you need to be good
Absolutely,
people to. you
Preach
know?
it, Nick.
Yeah.
Let's
it
go,
is.
passed up.
But it really is, man. It
it
takes a
is.
team around you helping you push.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
It's about figuring out what you want to put in the world and putting it out. And I love
Yeah.
watching you do that.
Man, I just feel like I've just learned just being a good fucking person and
Yeah.
just kind of like, you know, being a good hang and like, you know, being able to, you know,
That's your reputation in town, man.
It is.
well, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not making it up. You know, don't thank me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And
Appreciate that.
that's very important because, I mean, you know, around the country, everybody doesn't hear all of the stuff. But
Right.
if someone's reputation is not great in town, you hear little rumblings of it, you know?
Yeah.
But man, and that's one of the things that I've always talked about is I want to be someone that people think of well. And I want to surround myself with people
Most
like that
definitely.
too.
Most definitely.
And man, if you think about a team, you want them rooting for you because
Oh,
they're working extra hard for you because they
absolutely,
know you're a good guy and you deserve it.
For sure.
You know?
Most
They
definitely.
better be working hard for you.
Oh, man, I got one of the best teams in town, dude.
That's the best, man.
One of the best teams in
And that's
town.
like after I worked at a record label, I kind of understood it. I was like, oh, it takes people all pushing together in the same
Absolutely.
direction.
Like it's not just one person. It's not just
Yeah.
two. It's like the whole entire group, like
Yep.
working, like it's different branches and everybody works together. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a team. It's like if you make it, we make it. You
Yeah.
know? It's like a team. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
It's neat, man. And I get to see that all the while. Like, I share a space with Muscadine Bloodline.
Yeah.
So I got to see how it works for them being independent and kind of pushing themselves. But they wear 10 hats each, you know?
Right, for sure.
Like, so it's like they're wearing manager hats, even though they have a manager and have booking and everything.
Right.
But, you know, they are thinking about all of the business side of things. Like, you don't have to unless you want to if you have, you know, the right people in your corner that are doing that for you.
sure.
You know, so it's like, it's super interesting just seeing all of the different paths. But man, the power of 30 people with the same
Yeah.
idea pushing forward,
Goals.
all talented,
For
is
sure.
is amazing. And dude, it's same thing with having the right guys in your band. You know,
Absolutely.
those are your brothers. You got to live on the road with them.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, you got to have people that you love on your crew.
Absolutely. Do
And-
you guys ever argue on the road? Do y'all ever have disagreements?
I will say, and then no one's going to believe me when I say this, but not really. Everyone, of course, is little things, and we pick on each other and stuff. But the way that Luke carries himself is like sets the tone of what it's like to work for him, and he's just literally the best boss ever in the history of the world. And everyone that works with him kind of like understands that and like works to be that way. And like our tour manager says, like, I'm like, damn, like you're busting your ass. He's like, I'm just trying to be the Luke Combs of my job, And so like we all try to get our shit done, but at the same time, it's like, we like to have fun and we're chill too. It's like it's the best. I've gotten to tour with a lot of different acts, and I've been extremely lucky that haven't had to deal with like any like fighting or anything like bad like that. But this is absolutely the best camp to be in, and it's not even close. Like
That's incredible, dude.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
the best.
Well,
And we've had, sorry to interrupt you, Nick, but we've had like some guys come in and kind of ruffle their feathers and blah blah blah, and it's just that they don't really last that long if they don't get the vibe,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing too, is surrounding yourself by people that you see yourself in and that you see them in you.
For sure, dude.
It's I think that's an important thing for longevity.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's also a lot easier to not have to worry about like fighting and stuff when you're doing what Luke's doing. Everything's easier. It's like we're playing all these hit songs, so playing the show's easier. The fans are there, so it's less like having to scrape and get by and fight. It's more like
I talk about that too. It's like having worked at a record label and then having ran Raise Rowdy for a few years before that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, these PR people that are pitching record label songs that are getting coverage easily, that's killer, Man, but the indie folks that are pitching people that no one's heard of yet that might still be great music,
It's kind of probably more difficult, right?
It is, yeah. And you kind of see that and you're like, man, I appreciate their grind, And it's an interesting thing kind of thinking about that side of it. Stuff that I never thought about before I moved to town or before I got to see what it looked like inside of a record label. I feel like I got like a college degree in knowledge, like just from just getting to see behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, man, craziness. I never even thought that I would be playing for an artist on a label. I never thought I'd be on a tour bus. My biggest goal in my life was to pay my bills with music, and I did that when I was playing weddings and teaching guitar, and I was like, I've made it,
Yeah.
And then I was like, just by somehow I ended up doing this stuff, having a cool podcast and playing shows with Luke and everything. It's just, I never would have dreamed this would have happened in a million years. And it's great.
Same here, dude.
Yeah, dude.
What are some dream venues that you have? Like stuff that
I was just thinking that earlier.
Dude, I would love to play Red Rocks.
Yeah.
That's like a dream venue for me. I would love to play Red Rocks. Honestly, anywhere that I haven't played.
Yeah.
Anywhere that's like next step for me,
Yeah.
I would love it.
What about have you played Georgia Theater?
I have. I've done Georgia Theater, but I've not headlined there yet. So that would
We'll
be
have to talk to Bradley.
That would be. That
We
would
know
be-
a guy.
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah, man.
Mercedes Benz, gotta.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Man, it's super cool. I got to go to Georgia Theater for the first time with Kurt, and we saw Flatland there. And the history of that room that I know about, but getting to actually experience it and hearing how good it sounds in there.
Right.
That's a really cool room. Any like pinch me moments that you've had recently or?
Oh man, so many. I mean, but from the Opry to meeting Luke to, even just being around some of my favorite people that are in the industry every day. There's so many.
How about co-writes? Any co-writes that you had recently that you loved, or any you have on the books, maybe?
Man, anytime that I get to ride with any of my guys, like Maxwell, Dan, Reed, Jamie, any of them.
We got to talk about that. That's something I almost forgot. I did forget until you brought it up. It's funny that because like Jamie Davis, he plays in Luke's band, and Dan, it's like awesome. You're right with all the homies.
Boys, dude. They're my boys, man. We actually all wrote my single at radio right now. Bury Me, dude. We all wrote "Bury Me in This Bar," and that was so crazy because going in, like I literally wrote. I felt like with Luke's whole band that day.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know like that Dan and Luke was tight or anything,
Yeah.
But we just all hit it off and go in and we started playing and we started writing this song, and later on, I find out all this shit. I'm like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Man, how did you meet Maxwell? Because Alex Maxwell is like one of our homies.
Yeah, so Catino.
Nice.
GDC, dude. We Alex was one of my first couple rights in town, and we wrote a song called "Dirt Roads and Jesus" together that I put out. And man, that's that's my boy, dude. I love him.
Me too, man.
That's my boy.
I love Maxwell. I remember like I would talk about Alex a lot, and I'd talk about our buddy Trey Bonner, and then Kurt got to hang with him. He's like, "Yep, I get it." Yeah,
and they're good at Fortnite.
Yeah, better than us. Yeah. But it's just like he's like, "Dude, that Bonner guy's hilarious," and like Maxwell, awesome.
Dude,
I was like,
Bonner's so funny, man.
he is our buddy. He was on Trey Lewis's podcast for a while, like as like a second or third seat. And Bonner is one of those dudes that is just low key hilarious in life, right? Like you have him out shooting photos or something, and he's hilarious. He's like a little self-deprecating, but even not, he's just hilarious.
I don't know if
I
I'm
loved
laughing.
his introduction of us at Ray's when we done the show the other day.
Yeah.
His introduction of us when he come up on stage, that was pretty cool.
So great.
Yeah, he kicked ass.
But man, it's cool to get to watch that grow for you, man. And it's honestly couldn't happen to a better guy, and I'm not just saying that.
Well, that means the world. Thank you, brother. Thank you guys so much, man.
Dude, thank you.
Well, everyone go follow Dalton. Of course that you do already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Make sure you check out his tour dates, so when you get some of those bucket list venues, you can go watch them on them.
You better get drunk. You better keep
merch.
the cold beer in the hand. Buy merch.
And June 28th,
June 28th.
new song dropping.
Here's the deal, baby.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
We're going to all go stream that, aren't we?
Yeah, that'll be on the Raise Rowdy playlist for sure, man.
Stream.
Hell yeah.
We appreciate you coming out here. I know you're a busy man when you're in town.
Thank y'all so much for having me,
dude,
bro.
thank you so much.
For sure.
Well, I'm Nicky T.
I'm Kurt Ozan, and we'll see you in the front row. Thanks, pal.